You know how sometimes you can't tell if it's like fashion or if you kind of look like a farmer's daughter. All right, hey guys, Alexis here, back with another video for you today. And honestly, I was wanting to do a video today talking about and convincing why everyone in the world should be wearing an SPF every single day. However, I am actually in the midst of finals week and I just felt like recording something. So for those of you that don't know, my background is in the skincare industry, more specifically geared towards acne prone clients and acne prone skin. However, about 2 or 3 years ago, I did decide to pursue a bachelor's degree at a 4-year university where prior I had gone to beauty school. And I actually just recently changed my major this past semester. I was actually intending on going for political science. That was kind of what I started off with the first 2 years of college. I'd actually changed it 2 other times before that. So, you know, we've just been trying to figure out what I'm wanting to get a bachelor's in, but I just recently switched to a bachelor's in chemistry, and I actually did that to pursue cosmetic formulating. When I was first in the beauty industry, I loved it, and I thought that maybe it wasn't what I was gonna do forever, and so that's kind of what got me thinking about going to a 4-year university. However, just throughout my time of actually being in college, I have still been working in the beauty industry, and there is such a pull, I feel like, towards the beauty industry for me, and specifically towards acne, as it was something that I personally dealt with when I was growing up, and then obviously still to this day, it's something that I still frequently combat, and so I recently decided to switch my major to chemistry. So that's gonna be exciting. Hopefully I only have about 1.5 years left of college, but at the same time, grades are important to me and it is important for me to learn. So if it takes me an extra semester or two to finish off things in good standing, then that's what it'll take. But anyways, today I just kind of wanted to film a video, see what comes out. And yeah, I actually was in bed the other day and I had just woken up, and my partner Alyssa, had just woken up, had no makeup on, you know, in my pajamas, and my partner Alyssa was like, this would be a really funny video to see you just like ranting about skincare, because I frequently do this. And I was like, you know what, that's actually a good idea. I'm in the midst of finals. This will be something that I'm already talking about, so might as well share. So with that being said, I did just want to start off with some products that I have recently been liking. All of these products are fairly new and I haven't necessarily been using them for an extended period of time, so I don't want this to be looked at as a review or anything, because as I said in my last video, I actually will typically try a product out for 2.5 to 3 months before I do an official review on it. And I do that because typically acne irritators in products usually take a little while to show up once you've been using them in your routine frequently. So I am someone who is very much a believer in the consistent skincare and not throwing in a new product every other week and having a consistent routine. However, that being said, because I am a college student and I work with people of all ages, but I specifically talk to a lot of people that are around my age or a little bit older, and I definitely don't think that skincare should completely break the bank. I do think that it is an investment to keep up with good quality skin. However, if you have a good standard routine that you know really works for your skin, it doesn't have to be some $90 serum or anything like that. So yeah, I was just gonna talk about some products that I've been enjoying, not a full review on them yet, but products that I've been enjoying. And obviously, just a disclaimer, I purchased all of these products with my own money and I'm not sponsored in any way by any of the companies. However, there is one prominent company that I've been a little bit obsessed with, and I'm sorry if it seems like I am sponsoring them, but I'm not. They're just a really good skincare brand that I've recently found, and so yeah, I just wanted to share. And all of these products are fairly affordable. I'm looking over at them now. There is nothing that was over $30. So typically I actually keep things a little bit more below $30, but there's one product in here that's like in that range. Actually, no, there's a few. I'm lying. Okay, $30. But yeah, I'll start off with the cheapest one. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna start off with a cleansing oil that I actually had been using for about 2 months, and I really loved it. I do have a reason as to why I stopped using it. However, for most acne prone people, I think that this would actually be a good cleansing oil, but it is from Go-To Skincare and it is called Fancy Face. And this is an Australian-based skincare company. The founder, I believe her name is Zoe. I've actually kind of been obsessed with her too, but she is a woman and started the skincare company off in Australia, and she was actually a beauty editor for multiple big companies like Cosmopolitan prior to starting her own skincare line. So this cleansing oil called Fancy Face, I was using for about 2 months, and it actually took me like everything in me to actually purchase this product and trust it with my skin. And I say that because I'm typically someone who doesn't have any fragrances in their skincare routine. This is because that is kind of something that is a safety word in a sense when you're looking for a product, especially if you're acne prone and you have sensitive skin in general. People typically recommend to stay away from fragrance. However, I had watched so many reviews on this, and they are natural fragrances, and I watched a few interviews with the founder herself talking about how it's all about kind of how the fragrance is formulated in it. So anyways, that being said, I actually loved this cleansing oil, but I actually realized recently that I am prone to fungal acne. And I will insert a few pictures of what fungal acne looks like, but essentially any kind of oils are like a no-go. There's actually a really good video that Liah Yoo has on this, and I will be sure to link it below. But talks about just triggers of fungal acne, and it's actually a phenomenal video. But oils are pretty much a no-go if you are prone to fungal acne. So I did have to stop using that. However, if I was not prone to fungal acne, I would totally keep using it, especially because I really support the brand and you know, supporting other female people in my industry. So that was a cleansing oil that I had been loving. But because of me not being able to use cleansing oils anymore, which I pretty much always have used, or not always, but more recently, I actually decided to go to a micellar cleansing water. This was literally like $6 on Amazon, I think. And essentially this is just a good non-comedogenic way to remove your makeup. And I will say I really do love cleansing oils so much, but I am trying to clear up my fungal acne. I've mainly been getting it on the chin, and I've tried to get some pictures of it in certain lighting, and if I get a good one, I'll insert it here. If not, I'm very sorry, but it's there. But this micellar cleansing water is really good to use just right before you go in with an actual cleanser. So to remove any makeup, even if you're not wearing makeup, just your sunscreen from the morning that you should be putting on. But yeah, that's another product that I've been loving. Next, and the most new product, I know I'm gonna say this incorrectly, is the Vely Artemisia Balance Essence. And I have actually never used essences before, but I purchased this off of Amazon because, well, a few different reasons, but part of it was to try to help combat the fungal acne that I've been having, because I had to kind of rework my skincare system a little bit to combat that fungal acne. I needed something in there that was going to replace my toner. And so I kind of used this as that. And I've actually seen a lot of YouTubers recommend this, which just because a YouTuber recommends something doesn't necessarily mean you need to go out and purchase it. But I had seen really good things on this, especially because this only has one ingredient, and that is mugwort extract. And that is pretty new to the US, or I don't want to say new, but it's fairly new to the US. This is something that is more prominent in K-beauty products a lot of the time. But I purchased this off of Amazon and this was about $30. I've literally only been using this for like 3 days, so I don't really have an opinion on it yet, but it only has one ingredient, and so that's always nice to try and figure out like what's irritating your skin and what's not. All right, and the next two products are from Krave Beauty. This is the Oat So Simple Water Cream and the Beet Shield sunscreen slash not sunscreen, which I'll explain in a second. But I have been absolutely obsessed with Krave Beauty. The founder of the company, Liah Yoo, is a very well-known YouTuber. I'm sure everyone knows her, but she is big in the skincare industry, has been in the YouTube industry for a very long time, and she started her own skincare company. They're just simple and they really stand for more of a sustainable approach to skincare and making sure that your barrier of your skin is intact and not compromised in any way. So that's probably one of my favorite things about the company. But I have been using the Oat So Simple Water Cream and the Beet Shield for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months now. I started using it at the beginning of quarantine, but I'm almost ready to do a review on them, but so far I will just say I am absolutely obsessed with these products. And again, it's a female-owned company, so I really like to support these brands, especially one that has a more sustainable mission to skincare, opposed to spending loads of money, you know, and a 10-step skincare system. So I'll start off with the Oat So Simple Water Cream. I believe that this retails for about $28, and it does come in a jar like this. As you can see, I'm like almost out of it, but because I use a lot and I have been using a lot frequently, this has only lasted me for about a month and a half, but I'm perfect. I already repurchased another one, so I don't really have an issue with the size because you technically can make it last for about 2 to 3 months. But this is just such a nice formulation. It sinks into the skin so nicely, and it's just like a basic moisturizer. And I really feel like it's one of those ones that you can start to see progress over time. It's it almost kind of sinks in like a serum, and it even feels a little bit like a serum, but I feel like it's kind of a duo. It's kind of like a moisturizer and a serum, but this has just helped hydrate my skin so much, especially since it is the summer here and I am on a lot of active ingredients. So a lot of the times if I go out into the sun, even if I have loads of SPF on, if I've been out for an hour, my skin does start to get a little bit reactive to the actives that I've had. And so this has just been so nice in helping kind of repair my skin barrier. And then the Beet Shield. Long story short, they can actually not market this as a sunscreen in the US due to how we regulate things. And that is because in South Korea, the regulations are, I would say, far more advanced. They have a lot more options for sunscreens to use. And yeah, so in the US, they didn't want to change the formula. And so they basically just marketed it as like an antioxidant kind of cream. However, it does have vitamin C in it, and it is a chemical sunscreen, which I will explain in a later video when I convince you all why you should be wearing sunscreen. So that being said, it just applies really nicely to the skin. I actually don't typically recommend wearing a chemical sunscreen if you are going to be out in the sun all day. However, for a daily wear, if you're just going to be taking a walk around the block, or you know, just sitting at your computer and you just have a little bit of sunlight showing through, I think that this is a perfect everyday sunscreen, quote unquote sunscreen to wear. And yeah, I've really been enjoying those products lately. Okay, and with that being said, I did think that it would be cool to kind of give a little bit more of a background on what I have been doing in the skincare industry. Basically, I graduated from a beauty school in Austin around 4 years ago now, 3 or 4, yeah, around 4 years ago. And I instantly went to laser technician school. So essentially I'm a licensed esthetician as well as a laser hair removal technician. And pretty much my first job in the industry was a pretty big one. It was kind of unheard of that I had gotten a position like this, but it was a medical training facility over in Austin, and that was such a huge company. If I'm remembering correctly, we had something like 20 employees. It was a medical training facility, I'm sorry, a medical aesthetics training facility as well as a regular medical aesthetics facility. So essentially like half of the spa we were doing services and half of the spa we were doing schooling. So we were teaching classes such as laser hair removal, tattoo removal, microneedling, basically just those more advanced services that you see in the skincare industry. We had that, and working there was incredibly eye-opening for me. I feel like I saw all of the industry at once. It was in a big city such as Austin, and I think that the company was pretty well known, and I think that we were really known to have really affordable prices for really top-notch kind of services. And we had incredible skincare lines, and I feel like the majority of what I learned in the industry was during that time that I was working there. I did a few different roles while I was working there, but my main one was training other people how to do laser hair removal. And so that was really interesting. There was a lot that I discovered about myself while I was working at that job, and ultimately I was also young. I was, I think, only 19 when I was working there. Maybe 8, no, I was 19. But anyways, I was very young, and I was working in a very top-notch facility. That's really all I can say about that. So I actually did decide to leave that company, and I ended up moving to Denton, which is currently now where I live. And I was kind of going through a period whenever I left that company of like, oh my gosh, what do I want to do? You know, I was doing laser hair removal every single day, and I knew it wasn't exactly what I was passionate about, but at the time I didn't really see another way out besides leaving the company. But anyways, I decided to move to Denton, and I found the company that I'm currently working at, and I have been working there for about 2.5 years. And I've done multiple roles in the company. I started off managing it before I went to school. And then when I decided to go to school, I still stuck on that administrative side, just doing a little bit more back-end work of it. I also was a service provider, and that's kind of when I really grasped how much I care about acne and helping people clear up their skin. And so I'm really grateful towards the company that I work at, because I have been able to assist in all of these really cool decision processes and just experience the entire back end of working at a medical spa. So I've definitely been on both sides of the spectrum of working in this industry. And because of that, I just have seen a gap. And, you know, this is a money-making industry. So, you know, people want to make money. It's understandable. However, I just feel like the market is so saturated with skincare products, and more specifically acne products that are claimed to, you know, be the heal-all ingredient of clearing your acne. And when it comes down to it, I just feel like there's so much that it gets confusing, and that people are constantly dealing with trying to clear up their acne. And there's just so many misconceptions in the industry about how you deal with acne. And, you know, one company says to do this, and another company says to do this, and one skincare line says that you should do it in this order. And it's just very confusing for not only the consumer, but for specialists too. I mean, you can go to multiple different training places or, you know, continuing education classes, and they'll teach entirely different curriculum on acne. And so I do feel like this is a huge gap in the industry, is how to most effectively deal with it. And that's why I'm interested in continuing to learn and continuing to evolve, so that I can be the know-all acne expert and really be able to fine-tune to my best capabilities what works for people. And one thing about working in the beauty industry is it is always changing. There is literally always a new product, always a new company, always a new service. But there is so much marketing that goes into that it's just, I mean, you can be right one day about one thing, and then a new product comes out or a new study comes out, and it's like all of a sudden the entire game changes. And so to be in this industry, I feel like you do have to be constantly on it and just aware of what's out there. And that includes YouTube too. YouTube is crazy. I mean, like, it is insane the amount of videos that you can search on here. You can go on YouTube and type in, you know, how to clear up my acne or acne clearing skin routine, and you're gonna get 1,000 different videos that you could choose from on how to most effectively deal with that. And you know, there are a lot of specialists that are out here on YouTube, and there's also a lot of people that are specifically just sharing what worked for them, and what worked for them, they may not even fully be clear on what worked for them, and it may have been specific to them. And so overall, it's just like a crazy amount of knowledge and misconceptions. So yeah, I do feel like it's a big gap in the industry. And honestly, when I was going to school for political science, it was really hard to be, I just felt like I was being pulled in two different directions, right? Like I was going to school and I was really enjoying my classes. I love political science. I think that it's incredibly important and interesting. And then it's like I would get to work and it was just like a disconnect, you know what I mean? Like I would have rather spended my time, or I would have rather been spending my time looking up, you know, videos and trainings and new information on acne and just a whole slew of other things. And so it didn't really line up as to why I was going to school for political science. So in the end, that is why I made the leap to go ahead and switch to chemistry, which I will say was incredibly terrifying for me. Growing up, I did not do super well in math or science courses, and in high school, people that I went to high school with, I would assume probably wouldn't use smart as like the first word that popped into their head when they think of me. And so that was a huge reason why I went to beauty school after high school. And yeah, I just didn't think that I would ever really be able to succeed in a college setting. But I will say that after I was really clear and like intentional about like, okay, I want to go to college, I have excelled in my classes and I've been a better student than I ever thought that I would be. And so I feel like that just goes to show how much it can make a difference when you're really clear that college is something that you want to go to. And I'm a really firm believer that not everybody needs to go to college, especially because for a good portion of my young adult life, I was in the beauty industry and I was able to fully support myself and live on my own in Austin for a brief period of time. And yeah, so there were a lot of accomplishments I made, and I'm sure if I would have kept going, I could have financially been doing a lot better, but it was just a personal choice for me that I wanted to make to pursue a bachelor's degree. So that was a very long rant and it went a few different places, but if you have made it through this long, I really appreciate you guys watching. For those of you that are watching, and again, I hope that you're staying safe during this time and that you are finding ways to make sure that you are taken care of and practicing all sorts of self-care during this period, especially for my people who are still working and working a little more than normal. If you are in the healthcare industry or any industry where you're really just putting everything you have into it right now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.